I was scrolling through my old bank statements last week. Don't ask why, it was a low moment. And I found something that kind of blew my mind. 5 years ago, I started automatically moving $500 a month into an index fund. Honestly, I almost forgot I was even doing it. That account is now worth a lot more than I put in, and I didn't do anything special. I didn't pick any hot stocks. I didn't time any crashes. I literally just let it sit there. So today I want to break down exactly what happens when you invest $500 a month. The math, the psychology, the common mistakes, because honestly the numbers are wild and I wish someone had shown me this stuff earlier. Let's get into it. And stick around, because in part 3, I'm going to show you a comparison between two investors that's going to make you want to open a brokerage account today. It's genuinely a little scary how much a 10-year difference matters. Part 1, why people sleep on small investments. So here's something I've noticed. Whenever I bring up investing $500 a month to people, there are basically two reactions. The first group goes, "That's it? That doesn't seem like enough to matter." The second group goes, "I don't have $500 to spare right now." And both of those feelings make total sense, but both of them are also kind of missing the point. Because the question isn't really, is $500 a month a lot? The question is, what does $500 a month become over time? And the answer to that question is where things get interesting. Let's say you invest $500 every month. That's $6,000 a year. Over 10 years, you've personally put in $60,000. Cool, that's fine. But your portfolio, it's not $60,000, it's closer to $90,000, maybe more depending on returns. That gap, that extra $30,000, didn't come from your paycheck. It came from compound growth. And that gap only gets bigger the longer you let it run. This is the thing most people genuinely don't understand about investing until they see the numbers laid out. So let's do exactly that. Part 2, the compounding snowball, plain English version. Okay, so compound growth, I know that phrase sounds like something from a textbook, but I promise the concept is actually really simple. Here's how I think about it. Imagine rolling a snowball down a hill. At the top of the hill, the snowball is tiny. It picks up a little snow with each roll. No big deal. But as it rolls further, it gets bigger. And because it's bigger, it picks up even more snow with each revolution. It starts moving faster. The growth accelerates. By the time it reaches the bottom of the hill, what started as a little snowball is now absolutely massive. That's exactly how compound investing works. Your $500 earns a return. Then next month, that return is also earning a return. And the month after that, all of it, your original money plus every gain, is compounding together. Let's put some actual numbers on it, using a historical average stock market return of around 8% per year. $500 per month at 8% average annual return. After 10 years, roughly $90,000, you contributed $60,000. After 20 years, roughly $295,000, you contributed $120,000. After 30 years, roughly $745,000, you contributed $180,000. So after 30 years, you've personally invested $180,000. Your portfolio is worth $745,000. That means over $560,000 was generated purely by compounding, not by you adding more money, just by time doing its thing. That's the snowball. That's what you're building every single month when you invest consistently. Part 3, the comparison that will stress you out in a good way. Alright, I told you this part was coming, so here it is. Let me introduce you to two people. We'll call them Maya and Jordan. Maya starts investing $500 a month at age 25. She does it every single month until she's 55, 30 years of investing. Jordan hears about this whole investing thing a bit later. He starts at 35, same amount, same strategy, and also goes until 55, 20 years of investing. Same monthly contribution, same strategy, same everything, just a 10-year difference in start date. Let's see where they end up. Maya starts at 25, approximately $745,000 by age 55. Jordan starts at 35, approximately $295,000 by age 55. That's a $450,000 gap. And here's the wild part. In the difference in what they actually contributed out of pocket, Maya put in $180,000, Jordan put in $120,000. So Maya only contributed $60,000 more. But her portfolio ended up $450,000 larger. That extra $400,000, that's purely the value of starting 10 years earlier. That's time working for Maya instead of against her. This is why every single personal finance person you've ever heard says, start early, over and over. It's not just a nice idea. The math is genuinely brutal if you wait. The second best time to start is right now. Hey, quick pause. If you're finding this useful, a like on the video actually does help a lot. It helps YouTube show this to more people who could use it. So if you've got a free second, I appreciate it. And if you're watching this with someone who's been putting off investing, maybe show them the Maya and Jordan thing. That comparison tends to hit differently when it's real numbers. Part 4. Stop trying to time the market. Seriously. Raise your hand if you've ever said something like, I'm waiting for the market to dip before I invest. Yeah, I've done it too. It feels logical. Buy low, right? The problem is that nobody, and I mean nobody, consistently knows when the market is at its low. Not professional fund managers with teams of analysts, not hedge fund guys with fancy algorithms, nobody. And while you're sitting on the sidelines waiting for the perfect moment, the market is often quietly going up without you. There's a strategy that sidesteps this whole problem entirely, and it's called dollar cost averaging. It sounds technical, but the concept is super simple. You just invest the same amount every single month, no matter what. Market up, invest. Market down, still invest. Market sideways and nothing's happening? Yep, invest. When prices are high, your 500 buys fewer shares. When prices are low, your 500 buys more shares. Over time, your average cost balances out. But more importantly, you stop making emotional decisions. You stop checking the news every day and panicking. You're just on autopilot, letting compounding do its thing. Studies consistently show that investors who stay in the market outperform investors who try to time it. The strategy that requires the least thinking often produces the best results. Make of that what you will. Part 5. Where to actually put the money. Okay, so you're sold on investing $500 a month. Great. Now what? Where does the money actually go? For most people who are just getting started and thinking long-term, the answer is pretty unsexy, but genuinely effective. Broad market index funds. An index fund is basically a fund that tracks a big slice of the stock market. The most common example is an S&P 500 index fund, which holds a tiny piece of the 500 largest US companies. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, all of them. So when you invest in an S&P 500 index fund, you're not betting on one company. You're basically betting that the US economy as a whole continues to grow over the long run, which historically it has. Now, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. That's always worth saying clearly. Markets go up and down. There will be crashes. There always have been. But the track record of the overall market over long periods of time, decades, has been pretty consistent growth. Not straight up, never straight up, but up over time. And the other thing I love about index funds is that they're cheap. The fees are usually a tiny fraction of a percent per year. Compare that to actively managed funds that charge 1 or 2% annually, and often still underperform the index anyway. Now, as for where to hold these investments, if you haven't maxed out a tax-advantaged account yet, that's usually your first move. A Roth IRA lets your investments grow completely tax-free. You contribute money you've already paid tax on, and when you withdraw it in retirement, you pay zero tax on the gains. That's huge. If your employer offers a 401k match, contribute at least enough to get the full match first. That's literally free money. Part 6. The emotional part nobody talks about enough. Alright, I want to get real for a second. All the strategy in the world doesn't matter if you panic and bail when things get ugly. And they will get ugly. At some point, your portfolio is going to drop. Maybe 10%, maybe 30%, maybe more during a serious crash. And when that happens, when you open your investment app and see a number that's way lower than it was last month, something in your brain is going to scream, "Sell everything." That voice is the enemy. Every major market crash in history, 2000, 2008, 2020, eventually recovered. The investors who stayed in, or better yet kept buying during the dip, came out ahead. The investors who sold at the bottom locked in their losses permanently. Now, I'm not saying crashes are fun, they're stressful. Even knowing all this intellectually, watching your portfolio drop is not a good time. But the move is to zoom out. Remind yourself that you're not investing for next month. You're investing for 10, 20, 30 years from now, and in that time frame, a crash is just a blip. One practical thing that helps: don't check your portfolio every day. Seriously, set up automatic investing, let it run, and maybe check in once a quarter. The less frequently you look, the less tempted you'll be to make emotional decisions. Out of sight, out of mind, in the best possible way. Part 7. What if you can do a little more? So we've been using $500 a month as our base number, but here's something cool. Let's see what happens if you bump that up even slightly. Say over time you get a raise, or you pay off a car, or you cut a subscription you forgot you had. You bump your monthly investment from $500 to $600, just $100 extra a month. $600 per month at 8% over 30 years, approximately $894,000. That extra $100 a month adds about $150,000 to your final portfolio. $100 a month. $150,000 extra. That's the compounding effect working in your favor. Small increases, made consistently, have an outsized long-term impact, and this is why a lot of financial planners suggest increasing your contribution rate by 1% every time you get a raise. You were already living without that money. Just redirect it before it touches your lifestyle. Part 8. Automate everything. Seriously. Okay, here's probably the single most useful thing I can tell you in this whole video. Automate your investments. Don't rely on yourself to manually transfer money every month. You will forget. Or you'll have a rough month and tell yourself you'll catch up later. Or you'll be in a Target and suddenly convince yourself you really need that thing you've walked past 12 times. Just set it up once and let it go. Almost every brokerage, Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab, whatever you use, lets you set up a recurring automatic transfer. You pick a date, you pick an amount, and it happens every month without you doing anything. This is the pay yourself first concept in action. The money moves to investments before you've had a chance to accidentally spend it. The rest of your budget just works around what's left. It turns investing from a thing you have to remember to do into a thing that just happens. And when something just happens every month for 20 years, the results get pretty interesting. Part 9. What if $500 feels like too much right now? I want to address this directly because I know this video is called Investing $500 a Month, and that number might feel out of reach for some people right now, and that's completely okay. Here's the important thing. The math works at any number. $50 a month, $100, $200. The compounding principle is the same. The habit is the same. The only difference is the final number. And so if 500 feels like too much, start where you can. Even $50 a month is infinitely better than zero. And as your income grows, you can increase it. What I'd encourage you to do is figure out your actual number, not the number you wish you could invest, the number you could realistically start with this month. Then automate that. Build the habit. Let yourself see it working, and gradually increase it over time. A lot of people start at 50 or 100, see their portfolio grow even a little bit, and it motivates them to find ways to cut spending and invest more. The results are a better motivator than any YouTube video. Part 10. The mindset shift that changes everything. Okay, last section, and I want to get a little philosophical for a minute. Everything we've talked about today, the compounding, the dollar cost averaging, the automation, it's all tools. And tools are only useful if you actually pick them up. The thing that separates people who build real wealth over time from people who don't usually isn't income. It isn't luck. It's the mindset. Specifically, it's this shift from seeing money as something to spend to seeing money as something that can work for you. When you invest $500 a month, you're not just saving money, you're sending your money out to work. It's going to generate returns. Those returns are going to generate more returns. And 30 years from now, that quiet little habit is going to show up as a portfolio that might genuinely change your life. That version of you, the one who has real financial security and options, is built by the decisions you make right now, not by one big windfall, not by some complicated strategy, just by starting and not stopping. Investing $500 a month might not feel like much when you first start, but compounding is patient. It doesn't care that you're starting small. It just needs time. 30 years from now, that patient, consistent habit could be worth $745,000 or more. More than half of that is pure compound growth, not money from your paychecks. Start early if you can. Stay consistent no matter what. Automate so you take yourself out of the equation. And when markets dip, and they will, don't panic. That's literally the whole strategy. It's not complicated, it's just not exciting, which is why a lot of people don't do it. But you're watching this video, so clearly you're thinking about it. That already puts you ahead of most people. If you got something out of this video, subscribe for more content on investing, personal finance, and building wealth without making it your whole personality. And I'll catch you in the next one.